Yeah, step into the cage, let's go. It's the Maniacs, you ready for the show? Can't catch alone and Joe be in the place. Bringing heat to the mic, we're winning this race. Yeah, from the octagon fire to the studio mics. Tune in weekly, we're dropping the spikes. Analyzing every punch, every kick that lands. Maniacs in the game, playing with fans' demands. Ken's got the insight, Joe's got the flair. Mapping out the fights, we'll take you anywhere. So grab your popcorn, buckle up tight.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, guys? Back again, MMAniacs Podcast. I'm Joe. Ken will be right back. Just taking care of some business. So before, or actually right after, we went off the air last week, we found out, the news came out that Kayla Harrison actually had to pull out of the Amanda Nunes title fight due to herniated discs in her neck. She had to have emergency surgery. So she is now recovering from that surgery. But bad news, the fight is off, at least for now. I don't know roughly, we'll get into it when Ken gets back, what the recovery time looks like for something like that. But for the immediate future, the fight is off. Big time bummer. But
What's up there, Woody?
what's up? We got a Woody. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, you know, it's better for the fight because, you know, I'd rather Kayla come in as close to 100% as possible than have her come in with herniated discs in her neck and try to fight, you know, like, and I just want to say, like, I don't blame Kayla in the least. Like, it's crazy. So I've had severe muscle strains in my neck and in my shoulder. I'm still dealing with that from 3 months ago from a power half situation. And like, I'm still dealing with that. And it was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced. And that's not a herniated disc in your neck. So I can only imagine the level of pain that Kayla was having to endure on a daily basis.
Yeah, and Woody, the Rose fight got canceled, but that got canceled as like the preliminaries and got moved to the undercard.
Yeah. So, you know, that's another unfortunate aspect for this card is that, you know, Kayla pulled out so close to fight time that they couldn't find a suitable replacement co-main or main event. So,
Hello there.
hey, how's it going? So it's a bummer for the card, but, you know, if we can set aside our disappointment for a second, it's actually the best thing for that fight because, you know, none of us want to see one of them go in injured and then, you know, whoever the other person wins and it's like, oh, well, I was injured. Like, we don't want excuses. We want to see who's the baddest bitch in MMA. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we want to see. That's what we're paying to see. Well, some of us are paying to see.
Well, it's on Paramount now, so I'm paying for it.
Oh, okay. Some of us will still hoist the black flag. Yeah, that's right. It's Patty time. So we're gonna make our picks for this card.
Before we switch off of the Kayla and Nunes topic, there is with Kayla having to pull out of the fight due to, is it a herniated disc or a ruptured disc?
Herniated. It's the same thing. Ruptured is herniated.
Well, there is a difference.
No, you're right. You're right. Ruptured means it's actually like it explodes. Herniated just means it comes out, like the disc pops out of the space where it's supposed to be. So you're right.
But
it's herniated. Okay. And from what I'm reading, it was more than one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Herniated discs, plural. Which one is already like, you know, you're talking about numbness in your arms. You're talking about muscle weakness in your in your triceps. Like it's debilitating. Two of them. Ugh.
And it also depends on how herniated it is what method they're going to use to fix it. Because if she has to get any type of fusion surgery, she's done. That's the end of her fighting career. I personally do not know of a single fighter that has had the fusion surgery and has gotten cleared.
Yeah, I
Not
don't either.
Yeah, not saying
But
that there isn't, but I don't know of one. But
I don't think she
even
had fusion though, because the,
okay,
the article would have mentioned that she
okay.
had surgery to repair it, and she's in recovery now. Um, can you look up real quick roughly what the recovery time is for herniated neck disc surgery? It's got to be 6 months at least. I would think maybe even a little more before she can get back to active sparring and stuff like that.
All right. Okay. Eh, A full recovery can take place between 6 to 12 weeks, but you have a lot better chances of the recovery staying if it's 3 to 6 months. That was going to be my question. My question is, with her having to go through this with the age of Nunes already, and Kayla's already starting to get up there, does it make it to where maybe this fight doesn't end up happening?
No, there's no way this fight doesn't happen unless Kayla re-injures her neck. People are talking about an interim title. Amanda said she doesn't want that. She doesn't want to fight somebody else. She doesn't want an interim belt. She only fights for the real belt. They could, technically, I guess, they could strip Kayla of the title, but that's kind of a bad look, isn't it? Like,
Hmm.
you strip her because she got injured. It wouldn't be the first time, but I, I don't know. I don't think Kayla is afraid of Amanda. I don't think she pulled out because she's afraid. Like, I think she pulled out because it's a business decision. She wants to be at her best for that fight, and
Do,
rightfully so.
do you really want to take a punch from Amanda Nunes with slipped discs in your neck? Because I can
No,
tell you, I sure don't.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but there's, how the internet warriors are.
You got Oh, well, I had a pull a slip disc, and I went and I fought an entire bar full of people
Yeah.
and kicked all their asses.
Yeah. Oh, Kayla's a coward. She's just afraid. It's like, those, I call those guys the I just see red bros, like,
Yeah. Oh.
I just see red and bodies just start dropping, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just,
You
I'm
just
just
see.
built different. I'm just built different.
Mhm.
Those
Man,
guys.
I know a few people that have never even
Mhm.
so much as thrown a fucking real punch in their life, and by a real punch I mean at somebody. And he'll sit there and talk about, oh well, I kicked this guy's ass, I do this and that. No. This is where Mike Tyson becomes the greatest professor you're ever going to have in your life. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and that's when you find out who you really are.
Yeah, it's those I just see red bros drive me crazy, dude. That I laugh at them. They're a joke, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just built different, bro. Like, they have no training whatsoever.
You
And
didn't know they were part Terminator?
the funniest part is those guys always get choked out in the funniest of ways, dude. Like, they spaz and they get choked, and then, like, they just, it's like, oh, this is just grappling bullshit, like, let's go from the feet. And it's like,
Okay.
dude, okay. So I'm just gonna duck your windmills, like, because that's what they do. They windmill punches, no technique, no breathing, no footwork or pivots or hips or anything. And yeah, those icy red bros are hilarious. But
Woody, the sad thing is I could see you doing that right before you clean somebody's clock.
yeah, but Either way, it's a bummer for the card, but it's good for the fight. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, we want to see them both at their best, and we don't want there to be any excuses. Like, let's see who's the best.
Yep.
So that's good. That's actually really good news that 3 to 6 months is like the maximum timeline, because that means theoretically, like, so we're almost into February. Theoretically, she could, if she takes the full 12 weeks, that you can have a full recovery in 12 weeks, which is 3 months. But if you take 3 to 6 months, it's more likely that the recovery stays, right? So even if she takes the full 6 months, like, and then jumps into training camp, we could have the fight by the end of the year. We could have it somewhere in September or October, and I'm with it. Like, it
Yo,
just gives
so
it
am
gives this
I.
fight, what another good aspect that I want to mention is that it gives this fight a little more time to marinate, because this fight was not very well promoted at all, in my
Mhm.
opinion, dude. Like, I didn't even know that this fight was happening. Like, I knew I had read that they had signed it, then I heard nothing about it until it was like, oh, UFC 324 is in a month, and that's the Amanda Nunes fight.
Well, shit. I didn't even see any promotion whatsoever for 324 until we got into the playoffs here of the NFL. That's when I started seeing some of the promotion for the event itself in general.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they're doing a huge disservice to both of these women. Like, if you're marketing this as the women's GOAT title fight, right? Which, if you're unless you're a fool, that's how you should be marketing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It deserves more than just a mention on a back page somewhere. Like, you should be out there, market this thing like you would market a Conor McGregor fight. Like, market the shit out of it, and let it sell, because I do believe this fight will sell. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of women's fights don't sell, but Amanda Nunes, she sold pay-per-views. Kayla, I
It,
think, I don't know how big of a sale, from a sales perspective, how big Kayla is, but I do know that she's enough. People see her as enough of a challenge to Amanda that there's going to be curiosity there, and people will buy because they just have. So I think it's good because it gives the UFC more time to market the fight, Kayla to get fully healthy, not going anywhere. Like, it gives her more time to train, or to sharpen her game up, because Amanda's been out of the cage for a couple years now.
Mhm.
Let's not forget that. So every day in the gym, getting with that sparring and that training for her, gets her closer to being back in that shape that she was in before, that fighting shape. And I don't just mean cardio wise, like experience, like getting used to getting punched in the face on a regular basis, right? Because for the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure she wasn't getting punched in the face 3, 4, 5 times a week. Now she is. And
Mhm.
so it's, you got to get used to taking those hits again. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for the fight. But let's get into UFC 324, big card. I think it's going to sell really well, because Patty is slowly developing himself into a superstar. Gaethje, as we all know, always comes to fight, and you can never count him out. It's going to be that's going to be a fantastic fight. There are a couple other good fights on the card. Um, is it the banger card of the year? No, and we're not going to sit here and tell you it is, right? But is it worth watching besides the main event? Yeah, I would say so. So let's start at the bottom of the card. They moved up one of the prelim fights because, again, with Caleb pulling out so soon before the main event, there really wasn't a chance for them to find another high-profile fight to put on this card. So what do we got?
All right, your first fight is still going to be the same with Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva.
And,
I'm rooting for Gene here because, man, he put on a hell of an impressive performance until that last fight.
man, and even that last fight, like
Oh,
against Diego, like it wasn't a complete blow away. Like, he just bro, you it's kind of funny though because like he beat a dude with a spinning elbow, or
Yep,
was it
yeah,
him? No,
yeah.
no, it was Prodis, I think, that one with the
No,
spinning elbow.
I'm pretty sure they both did it because we had two guys from Fighting Nerds do it night.
Yeah, so I thought so too. So,
Mhm.
but we also had Laurent Murphy do it. So I don't think it happened three times. I think it was Laurent Murphy and it was Prodis. But John Silva won in impressive fashion too. But it might have been. But so you go from, like choking out Bryce Mitchell in brutal fashion to go ahead.
Okay, his win was the one that was the submission.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He choked out
Okay.
Bryce Mitchell in
Yep.
brutal fashion.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
just remember that standing,
Yep.
like
Yep.
standing
Yep.
Darth that just, oof.
Well, half a Darce.
Yeah, it wasn't even a real Darce. It was like half a Darce. Standing half Darce choke, put him out in like 4 or 5 seconds, completely unconscious in 5 seconds. Tell you about the squeeze that this guy's got, right?
Uh-huh.
Then he went to getting just completely spinning elbow fucked, right? Like spinning elbow smash KO'd. Like that's a bad look. But Arnold Allen is most likely not gonna be throwing spinning elbows. Like, he doesn't have he can fight, he can strike, but he doesn't have the striking versatility that Jean Silva has. And then again, we go back to the jujitsu game or the ground game. Like ground game and jujitsu game are one aspect of the other, right? Like ground game is much more inclusive than just jujitsu. But you have to assume that John Silva's jujitsu is good because he trains with Kaio, and Kaio is a prodigy black belt.
Well, you got to assume it's good too from seeing that standing guillotine Darce there choking him out that quick. I mean, granted, could you get lucky like that? Sure, but that quickly with luck, I don't know.
Yeah, and you have to remember that it was early in the fight too,
Mhm.
so it wasn't like
He was gassed and
he
just
was
left himself
gassed, and
hanging.
then because the more gassed you are, the faster you go out, dude. Because your brain is already fighting for oxygen. Like he was still fresh, and he put him out in 5 seconds, which that means that was a straight blood choke, dude. Like he cut, and his grip was so tight that he managed to cut both carotids, like and,
It, it,
and just completely deprive the brain of oxygen in
there
5 seconds.
there you go. I think that's the thing with it is it's not just like a relative normal choke that you'll see where you are restricting the blood flow, but you're restricting it. That one I think cut the blood flow completely off.
Yeah. Well, that's the goal with any blood choke, right? Like, and so we can spend a minute on this real quick. Just for people who maybe don't understand chokes the way that somebody who trains jujitsu might. So you have blood chokes and you have air chokes, right? Like a rear naked choke is an air choke, but you can also kind of make it into a blood choke if you get your arm up and on the carotid right here. Um, but there are chokes like, for example, cross collar chokes where it doesn't feel like it's stealing your you feel like you're choking, but you're not gasping. It's not an air choke, so you're not fighting for air. It puts so much pressure on your head. It feels like your head is about to pop off, dude. Like you're getting squeezed, your neck so tight. And the blood chokes are extremely they work fast, dude. You don't have a lot of time before you start seeing dots and you start like getting fuzzy, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean by fuzzy?
Oh. Thank you. Okay. No, I was trying to bring the comment up as you were saying that, and it was fucking with me. But yeah, where I'm assuming what you're meaning is where you're starting to get that tunnel vision a bit there, and it's massively fucking with it.
And your body is all tingly. Like that's what I mean by fuzzy. You start feeling like you're in a fuzzy blanket or something. That's yeah. That's what
Oh,
a blood choke will do. So there's differences, right? Like a rear naked choke is a
See,
an air choke. You
see,
can also make. Go ahead.
I was always taught. Now, granted, very, very, very limited experience here of the rear naked choke is that you don't want to put your forearm across that throat. You want to protect the windpipe with the elbow and just cut off the fucking circulation. That's how I was taught with it.
Well, you can do both. The danger with putting your forearm over the windpipe is that you can crush their larynx and their trachea.
That's
And
that's what I would worry about.
Yeah, so I guess technically a rear naked choke could be either a blood choke or an air choke. You can. There's ways to do both. Like if you get in the crook of your elbow, correctly right here, you can actually affect the trachea and the windpipe, and also cut off both carotids. It's a matter of skill and your ability to. But there are some chokes that are specifically blood chokes, like, for example, a darce or an anaconda, cross chokes. They're more blood chokes. Clock choke. They're more like blood chokes. But again, you can. Whereas like a guillotine is more like an air choke because you're like scooping out. They're basically scooping out their Adam's apple with your forearm. It's a rough one, dude. But it does kind of, the guillotine also has blood choke aspects to it, but it's much more. The guillotine feels much more urgent when you're in it because your air is also getting cut off. So you're just like, oh shit, like you panic. If you're not training, you panic right away. Whereas with a cross collar choke, there's guys that have no idea what they're doing. They come in and they get put in a cross collar choke and it's uncomfortable for them, but they feel like, well, my air is not in any danger. Like I can keep going. And then all of a sudden they're just like, that's the thing is, that's the danger with blood chokes is that you don't really realize how much danger you're in because it just feels uncomfortable. It doesn't give you that immediate panic like an air choke does, right? Like when I don't know if you've ever been choked before, like, or an air choke, but it's like,
not an air choke. I've only gotten blood. Okay,
well, air chokes, it's like the panic immediately sets in because you're fighting for air, right? You're like, when you can't breathe, your brain just immediately kicks into like panic mode, and it takes a long time to be able to overcome that, to be able to like settle down even in an air choke and try to keep your head about you. But you still have to work really fast because with an air choke, oftentimes there's a blood choke element to it too. So you're on the clock from the moment that you're on the clock, dude. But with blood chokes, like I said, you can be in a blood choke for 5-7 seconds and you like a triangle, and you don't really feel like you're a lot of danger. Like it's uncomfortable and it like really, it really hurts, but it's like you can try, you'll sit there and try to fight it. And then all of a sudden you're just snoring, dude. Like, so yeah, it's, that's the difference with chokes. And the tighter your squeeze, the faster you go out. The more gas the guy is, the faster he goes out. So, with John Silva, be interesting because Arnold Allen is a grappler / he can stand up, he can fight. But I definitely think John Silva has the advantage in the technical striking. This is where the fight gets interesting, though, is that technical wrestling game, right? Like Arnold Allen, I think, might be the superior technical wrestler. So for me, his key to victory is to put him on the cage. Avoid the crazy striking exchanges, get into his leg, get him on the cage, and just try to work your takedowns from there, right? With that said, I think that's going to be very tough. I think Silva's going to come out and look to finish him right away. Impressive fashion, and I expect him to do it. I'm going Silva in this fight by knockout.
Yes, Brent.
Yeah. So what about you? What are you thinking for this fight?
I definitely agree with the wrestling aspect is going to be more of a factor for Alan there. I brain farting on his name there for a sec. But that might be the easiest path to victory to a degree. I want to say that it's the easiest path to victory for him with an asterisk of us not fully knowing what Silva's jiu-jitsu is like. But with this being relatively a striker versus striker, I'm hoping we see this one stay standing for the majority of the fight. I I want to see this get a little bit crazy just because it's I think you're going to get some fireworks out of this, especially with Silva looking to finish. But that's also going to leave him open from an experienced striker to be able to work his magic too.
I mean, I would agree with you that I wouldn't mind seeing them do a knockdown, drag out, stand up fight, but I just don't. I don't think that that's what we're gonna get. I think Arnold Allen is smart enough to know where his path to victory lies. I don't think he's gonna take. I don't think he's gonna leave it in the hands of the striking gods. If he has a choice. But if that's going to be the thing, is if Jean Silva can defend the takedowns and force him to stay standing, that's going to be, then it's really good. You're going to start to see Arnold Allen in that panic mode where it's like, oh shit, like the clock is ticking, and it's just ticking down to me getting brutally knocked out, or choked out. So we'll see, man, because Bryce Mitchell is a pretty good grappler, dude. And you saw what John Silva was able to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens, dude. What's the next fight?
It
Is
is
that Derek Lewis fight?
no, it is Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas.
Namajunas.
Namajunas, okay.
Oh, Rose, Thug Rose, dude. She's the one that kicked Zhang Wei Li in the face and knocked her out and won the belt.
Oh, okay.
You know Rose, man. Everybody knows Rose. Yeah. So
From the picture that they had for the card, I didn't recognize her at first.
what's her what weight are they fighting at? Straw weight or at flyweight?
Flyweight.
Man, see, I wish Rose would just go back down to 115, man. This is gonna be an interesting fight because Natalia Silva is a very good striker, and Rose is a very good striker. Rose also has some jiu-jitsu skills, but her grappling is not the best. Carla Esparza basically just toyed with her the first time they fought. And granted, Carla Esparza is a really good grappler, but I think you wanted to see a fight that'll be on the feet for 3 rounds. This is the one, and it's pretty good because Rose is such a good technical boxer, such a good technical kickboxer. Right? She disguises her feint. She uses feints and disguises her kicks very well. That's how she managed to knock out Zhang. She made her, she made a feint like she was going for a leg kick. Zhang dropped her hand and she went up top with the inside like head kick. Just not a full on like swing kick. It was more like a front snap kind of head kick. Dropped her. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, dude. They're trying to get Natalia Silva into that title contention, which is I'm all for it because I think her and Valentina would be a fantastic fight. I think Natalia Silva is pretty well rounded. Her striking game to me is the better game. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't have grappling. I think she's also pretty good at jiu-jitsu. Can you look up her jiu-jitsu rank? She might even be a black belt. I'm not sure. But one thing she does have is youth. She's going to be younger. She's going to be hungry.
She is a blue belt.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Under who? Who's she trained under? That's another thing, because not all blue belts are the same.
Well, it's not showing that yet. She used to compete in the APJ, the Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Well, okay, so she's a blue belt competitor. That's good. Abu Dhabi is one of the biggest jiu-jitsu tournaments in the world. You know, my professor actually coached the Brazilian team at Abu Dhabi. So, yeah, that's interesting. She's only a blue belt, though. That's eek.
Carlos Borchata.
Okay. What about Rose? I want to know Rose's, because I don't know if Rose. I don't think Rose is a black belt. But that kind of stuff matters, man.
She's a brown belt.
She's a brown belt. See, so on paper, a brown belt against a blue belt, everybody's going to say, oh, the brown belt will wipe the floor with him, right? But again, not all blue belts are the same. If she's a blue belt competitor at Abu Dhabi, she's not your typical blue belt. Like an Abu Dhabi competitor blue belt, it will give purple belts, she probably could beat purple belts and would give brown belts a run for their money. So in the jiu-jitsu aspect, they should be fairly close. Like, you know, Rose might have a slight edge because she's just been training longer, but having that competitor status actually means that Natalia's blue belt is not just a blue belt, you know? Like she's testing her jiu-jitsu against others.
It's like a blue belt with extra shine because it's not saying regular jiu-jitsu isn't in practice, but you get what I mean. Like it's actually being used competitively.
It's like this, like a competitor, a blue belt, a good blue belt competitor, which if she's competing at Abu Dhabi, she's a very good blue belt, right? A very good blue belt competitor. A blue belt competitor at Abu Dhabi is like a purple belt in the gym. Okay. It's like you get a belt up for you know, being at that level of competition in blue belt. It means you're one of the better blue belts in the world, right? So you're not just the hobbyist guy that came off the street and put in a couple of years and, you know, like you can say you're a blue belt, but if you were to go to a competition and face actual competition blue belts, you're going to get wiped, right? Like she's not getting wiped. So it makes the jiu-jitsu fairly close. I won't call it even, but fairly close. The striking game, again, like Silva has very versatile striking. She can use kicks. She's very fast. Rose is one of the things I think that's going to be interesting about this fight is which Rose do we see? Like, do we see the killer Rose that like knocked out Joanna and like, you know, that was on point with her striking, like setting feints and traps? Or do we see the Rose that came out and did absolutely nothing against Carla Esparza and probably the two of them probably put on the worst MMA fight I've ever seen in my life? Like there weren't even 10 strikes landed in the entire fight between the two of them. Yeah, if you didn't see that fight, you're actually very lucky. But now that I know you haven't seen that fight, you need to go watch that just so that you could say you've seen it.
And it was Rose versus who?
Versus Carla Esparza.
Okay.
It was so Rose was fighting for the strawweight title. Rose was the champ, I believe. It was after she won her belt back for the second time. She won her belt back and she defended it against Carla. Carla had already beat her before for the original flyweight, strawweight title. That was in the UFC toughen or not toughen what's it called? The show, the Ultimate Fighter. They both came from the Ultimate Fighter, and that was when they were starting the women's strawweight division, right? So Carla beat her by submission, by rear naked choke in that fight, and won the title. Well, they ran it back, and they basically just danced around each other, like just circled and like fainted for 5 rounds. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. And like Pat Barry, I mean, it's as much bad as you can say about Pat Barry, it's probably not enough. Like his strategy for that fight, if that's what you want to call it, like as they're coming back to the corners in between rounds, he's like, "Yeah, I know you're doing beautiful, Rose. Beautiful. You're moving. You're working her. You're working her." And it's like she didn't land a single punch. There were rounds where she didn't even throw like a single punch. It's like she just circled. It's like, how do you? Are we judging like who looks better circling the cage? Like, yeah, dude, it was preposterous that fight. You got to watch it, dude. And next week you can throw me your 2 cents about it. It's preposterous.
God, you're gonna wish that on me. I'm gonna have to watch this shit at like 2:00 in the afternoon, where it's not gonna put me to sleep.
I mean, it might still put you to sleep, but hey, if you use a nap, like, but I don't think it'll put you to sleep. I think by the 3rd round, you'll be laughing because you'll be like, this is comedy. This is so fucking comical. Like, it's like 2 people who are doing everything they can possibly do to not fight each other in a fight. That's basically what it comes down to, dude. And the whole reasoning was Rose was scared of the grappling. Rose didn't want to take risks with her striking and risk getting taken down because Carla is a superior grappler. So Carla was able to make Rose gun shy, and that's why I said it's going to depend on which Rose shows up. If Rose comes in and she's tentative like she has been for a lot of, and she's outweighed. Like, Rose is a natural 115. She's not a 125er. Yeah, Joseph Benavidez, man. He's most likely my distant cousin. Like, I don't have proof of that, but his family is from Las Cruces, New Mexico, and my family is from Tierra Amarilla. They're right close to each other. And the fact that our names are spelled the same, like that spelling of Benavidez, is actually quite rare. Our families are from the same area in New Mexico. He's probably Native American as well as Mexican. He's probably Tewa Pueblo like I am. So it's quite possible that we're actually distant cousins, because I have hundreds of cousins in New Mexico that I've never met before. Literally hundreds that I've never met before, because I've never gone out to the res or to that area. But I do want to do that someday. Go meet all my hundreds of cousins out there. Yeah, so it depends on which Rose shows up. Like, Rose is already giving up a weight advantage, at 125. She's going to have to be on point with her striking in order to beat Natalia Silva, in my opinion. And this kind of feels like they're moving Rose into that gatekeeper category, where it's like, they're starting to feed her.
You got to climb the mountain of her to be able to be in title contention.
Yeah, like you beat her to get a title shot or to get into like that top 5. It kind of feels like they're positioning her in that realm of gatekeeper, which is unfortunate, because I really think if Rose would go back down to 115 and just get motivated again, she could win another belt. I really believe that, especially right now with the way that, like, Mackenzie Dern is the champion. right? Like Mackenzie Dern is a strawweight champion. Rose could beat Mackenzie Dern. I really believe that. Like, fully believe a motivated Rose could wax Mackenzie Dern. But for some reason, she's wanting to stay at 125. I don't understand it.
Probably because she doesn't want to do that weight cut down to 115.
Yeah, and I mean Rose. Can you check her age? I think Rose is in her 30s now. It would make sense.
I was
Like,
gonna say in your 30s, I wouldn't blame her for wanting to bow out of that shit too.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
she's 33.
yeah, she's 33.
That,
but
that 10 extra pounds means a whole freaking lot.
yeah, but going up to 25, that 10 extra pounds means a whole lot too, because you got people cutting down to 25, right?
Yeah.
So on fight night, Rose is like 25, maybe 30, right? These other girls are like 145, like, you know what I mean? They're cutting, they're cutting 20 pounds. Like, 20 pounds is not impossible, dude. What do you mean it don't matter? 20 pounds absolutely matters. 15 pounds absolutely matters. In fighting, look, okay, so I think I get what you're trying to say, right? In a street fight with untrained people, you're right. 20 pounds doesn't matter because a skinny guy can knock out a 270-pound guy if he's just a better fighter, right? But all things being equal, when two people are the same weight, the same skill level, right? Like UFC fights and like jiu-jitsu tournaments where they match you specifically on your rank, your skill, then 15 pounds absolutely does make a difference. 5 pounds makes a difference. It really does. So yeah. Yeah, like exactly. So in a street fight, the skill level is whatever it is, right? Like, so yeah, like I agree with you that weight doesn't make all that much of a difference in a street fight if the smaller guy has more skill. Oh, cutting weight. Yeah, 20 pounds, cutting 20 pounds is still cutting 20 pounds.
I was gonna say, when you start getting up there in age, listen to a lot of these fighters. Once they start getting up there, you see most of them end up moving up a weight class, and they will stay. I didn't want to do those cuts anymore.
Yeah, because cutting 20 pounds in a week is hard, dude.
Oh yeah, that's got to be fucking rough as fuck.
Yeah, dude. Especially when you got to cut 10 in the last fucking like 24 hours. You're sitting in that sauna.
You mean the last 10 you got to cut to give yourself organ failure?
Yeah, when you take yourself down to organ failure to make weight, like, oh, dude, I'm so good off that. So yeah, it just depends on what Rose. I understand why she doesn't want to do it, but I think she should. I think for her career, Rose is getting towards the end, man. She's 33, and Rose is kind of an old 33. Like, she's been around for a long time. She may not have 40 fights, but she's taken some damage. Got dropped on her head by Jessica Andrade. Like, she's not a spring chicken anymore. But I do think she's good enough right now that if she was to go back down, she could win the belt again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that shit's fucking brutal.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Natalia in this fight.
And I am not familiar enough with both fighters, but from what we just discussed, and by we I mean you, on this fight here on this podcast, if I got to worry about somebody's heart in the fight and their level of effort, heart isn't the right word necessarily. Level of effort, I'll put it as that. If you're going to sit there and have a fight where you're literally just sitting there on your bicycle the entire time, not sticking and moving, not the on your bicycle like Floyd Mayweather, where I'm just going to take my opportunities and make you look foolish, just sitting there avoiding the fight. No, fuck that. I can't pick that.
Well, to her defense, that was only one fight, but It's one fight, but it's not always. It isn't just one fight. Like Rose has looked more tentative, especially moving up to 125, giving up the weight advantage. Like she looks more tentative. I wish she would get back to that killer instinct that she had.
I was gonna say, do you think it's from the extra weight of the people? Let me rephrase that. Do you think it's them, her competition hitting harder at that weight than what she's used to, and it's kind of shell shocked her a bit?
I think that could be part of it. I think Rose fell in love with her legacy of being careful, or I think Pat Barry fell in love with her legacy of being such a good technical boxer, of hitting and not getting hit, that in a sense it's like Pat basically tells her, like, don't take too many risks. Don't take risks, just keep stay on your bike, and eventually the shot will present itself. So she doesn't risk too much, but I think she should risk a little more. I think sometimes you got to bring the fight to the other person, and Rose has not been doing that as much. And I like Rose. Don't get me wrong. I want to pick Rose for this fight, but I can't until I see her do what she needs to do at least one time. I need to see the old Rose come back before I can say, like, okay, I'm gonna pick Rose. But let's go on to the next fight because we're already getting close to the end of time here.
Yep, this is the Derek Lewis versus the Waldo Cortez Acosta. Wow, if I can talk.
Yeah, this one it's tough to call. I want to go with Acosta, but Derek Lewis still has that eraser, man. And every time we count Derek Lewis out, he knocks somebody out to stay in that top 10. I'm going to go with Derek Lewis in this one, dude.
Oh, screw it. I'm hopping aboard the hype train. Give me a Acosta to make a bit more of a name. Granted, Derek Lewis isn't the Derek Lewis that we know, but like you said, he's still got dynamite in those hands. And if you are not on your A game, he's going to catch you, and then you're going to catch the fucking mat.
Yeah, if he touches you, you're going to sleep. So, and I just think staying away from him for 3 rounds is very difficult, right? It's very difficult. Get bumped down. All right. So not much sword fighting, but we do have a thing called the third hook. Maybe some other time I'll talk about the third hook. Oil checks and third hook. So what's the next fight?
This is Sean O'Malley versus Son Yadong.
Yeah, see, this is again the Jurassic Park. This is the Jurassic Park sacrifice, man. I feel bad for Son Yadong. So I feel bad for Son Yadong because he's basically getting fed to O'Malley in order to give O'Malley another title shot. He's getting the McGregor treatment. I don't have any confidence that Son Yadong is going to win this fight. I think Sean's going to win it, and he's going to win it in devastating fashion. But if you want to see a really cool knockout, watch the No, I mean it. Like, dude, on every card, you want to see at least one good, right? Like, as a fan, we're not talking about like breaking it like a perspective like you and I do, like from a technical jiu-jitsu or striking perspective, but just as a casual or just as a fan, right? No, man, like we got to make sure we get to the end of this card before the show's over. We only got an hour, but we appreciate you watching, and we appreciate your comments. We'll get into the third hook next week. If you think that was bad, wait till you hear what the third hook actually is.
I gotta say, I like this fucking guy.
I mean, I guess quick, right? So when you take somebody's back, you put you know what putting the hooks in is, right? When you take somebody's back and then you put your legs, like you have one hook, two hook, and then you put the third hook in.
Jeebus! Man!
They might get out of hooks 1 and 2, but they're not getting out of the third hook, dude.
Man, I think that's the one you're getting out of first. Holy shit.
That's the one you want to get out of first, for sure. But no, I mean, yeah,
I've heard
jiu-jitsu has a very
I've heard of the old
homoerotic culture, dude. Like,
believe me, I know. I've heard of the old oil check for a long fucking time, but that's the very first time I've heard of the third hook.
oh, the third hook, bro. Like, yeah. Dude, so I'll give you a funny story. So one time I'm rolling with this blue belt, right? And me and him, we used to have death matches, bro. And this time we weren't rolling, we were just drilling, right? And we're doing stack passes where you have to take both of their legs and then you stack them up so that you can put the pressure on them to pass their guard.
Mm-hmm. So
when I had both his legs like this, I was like, whatever happened to a good old headbutt to the dick, right? So I asked him while I had his legs, like I have his legs up on my shoulders like this, right? I'm like, whatever happened to a good old headbutt to the dick? And he said, you can do it as long as your mouth is open. Bro, I almost dropped his legs. I was laughing so hard. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, jiu-jitsu has a homoerotic culture, but it's like, when you guys are killing each other, it's like you got to joke about something, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's all fun and games. But so yeah, are you picking O'Malley as well?
I don't want to, but I will. I am not a fan of O'Malley. The dude's a great freaking boxer. I won't take that from him, but it's his personality I can't freaking get behind. I think that's kind of what bothers me so much with him is he's such a good boxer, and that's usually what will draw me into a fighter, but he just rubs me the wrong freaking way.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. He's very talented. I'd like to see his ground game get better. Yeah, he's very smooth. His boxing, his striking is so smooth. It's just effortless, dude. And like I really do enjoy watching him fight. For me, I agree about his attitude a little bit. I don't like how he refuses to accept the loss to Cheeto. And also it's the whole cuck thing, dude. Like, he came out, no, really, like he's actual cuck. Like him and his girl have an open relationship where he's perfectly supportive of her sleeping with other dudes and he sleeps with other women. Like, now I get like, an open relationship isn't necessarily being a cuck, but just to me, if you're letting your old lady sleep with other dudes, you're a cuck.
Exactly what he said. I ain't on that shit, dude.
Yeah, me neither, dude.
No.
Yeah, I'm good. But hey, whatever floats your boat, dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then we got the main event, which, this is going to be a good one, dude. This is going to be a barn burner.
I expect this one to be a bit of a bloodbath. You got Gaethje, who pretty much will run. Granted, he's gotten a little better at it, but he'll run straight on the sword just so he can slap you. And you got Patty, who it almost seems like this guy doesn't even really fight until somebody rocks him. Like he's just kind of playing it first, and then it's okay, we're actually in a fight now. Now I should actually try.
Yeah, but Patty has crazy chin, dude. Which it's hella funny too because it doesn't look like Patty has a crazy chin. because he'll get clipped every fight, and he's like doing the tappy legs, and he's doing, you know what I mean? And you're like, dude, but then he survives, and then he gets you down, and he strangles the life out of you. It's like Patty is such just a conundrum of a fighter. He's such an oxymoron, right? Of a fighter. Like his jujitsu is absolutely outstanding, dude. But can he survive that initial Gaethje rocking? You know, that's the question, because Gaethje has the power. You saw what he did to James Vick. Gaethje has the power to put you to sleep with one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one well-timed, well-placed shot is all it takes, and Gaethje can put you to sleep. So I do think Gaethje is going to land that shot, but I don't think he's going to knock Patty out. I think we're going to see what you would kind of expect from a Patty fight. I think Patty is going to get his ass beat at first. He's going to get leg kicked. He's going to get, it's going to take him a while to get into the range with the grapple, right? I think Gaethje will land a really hard shot and rock him, and Gaethje will go for the finish. And in going for the finish, I think that's where Gaethje opens it up for himself, and he gets strangled.
I not only could see it going that way, but I hope, beg, and pray it goes that way. For absolutely selfish reasons.
Yeah. Oh, I know. You want to see Patty sacrificed on the Ilya altar, but, I want to see that fight as well. Obviously, I think that's the fight to make, because it's Rascally Rabbit.
That got me too.
I love Elmer Fudd, dude. Like Rascally Rabbit. So yeah, dude, that Ilya versus Patty fight, that's what we're kind of angling for, because it's like we talked about last week. It's the only true grudge match left, right? At this time. I'm sure there'll be more to come, but this one is, these two, they might fight after the fight. I mean, like, they might fight on the way to the hospital, like they might fight in the hospital. Like, it's sort of like, remember Peter Griffin and the chicken, the giant chicken?
Yes, but as soon as you said that, all I could think of was the Stone Cold and Vince McMahon feud, where he goes into the hospital and beats him with the fucking bedpan.
Oh, he hits him with the bedpan, yeah. Or how about the grocery store when he whipped Booker T's ass? Got milk, Booker.
That's what I expect Ilya to be, because as you've seen from that video that you love so much, he gonna show up wherever you happen to be.
Yeah, with a bunch of his boys and throw a sucker punch. Which is that's what I thought was kind of just stupid about it, is like because I respect Ilya. I'm not a fan of his, but I respect him, and it just was kind of like, come on, dude. Like, you show up with a bunch of your boys, Patty's by himself, and then you're gonna throw a sucker punch. Like, if you want to fight him. Say, hey, dude, let's go out in the back.
I think that's one of those that he hates his guts so much. He's throwing his morals out the window with it. At least that's what I am hoping for from a fan perspective. Because if this is indicative of his personality, that's just something he's going to do to whoever he doesn't happen to like, that's when I'm going to have the issue. But if it's because he hates him just that much, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm getting on him.
I'll say this. A long time ago, there was a boxing match between Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. And Roberto Duran won that fight because he managed to get Sugar Ray Leonard so pissed off by talking about how he was like a cuck, and Roberto Duran was going to take his wife and this and that. He made him so angry that he got him out of his element, where Sugar Ray fought his fight. He fought Roberto Duran's fight and he lost. So in the rematch, of course, we know Sugar Ray Leonard demolished him, right? That's the no mas fight. But if Ilya really hates Patty that much, you have to wonder, is there a bit of psychological warfare going on here? And we'll have to talk about that again next week. So we'll see how we do on the card, on our picks. But You know, I'm going Patty in that one. What about you before we go off the air?
Oh yeah, I'm going Patty the whole way. Give me Ilya.
All right, you guys. Hey, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the new comments, the new commenters. We'll see you guys next week.